everyone, it's Maki, one of the most important characters in Hathaway's Flash's Lay name. He pilots the latest mobile suit, the Penelope, and he gets in the way of Hathaway and the Gundam. From a pilot's perspective, he is often considered Hathaway's rival. However, fans often debate one topic about him. Today, I would like to talk about Lane. What abilities does he actually have? Studying him also provides an interesting perspective on the story's world. Let's research Lane together. Today I will be giving away a few spoilers from the novel version. I will not be giving away any major spoilers about the ending of the story. Please be aware of this. The Earth's Federation government operates an organization that protects and educates children who have lost their homes and families due to war. If you would like to support us, please join our membership for just 99 cents per month. We seek support to provide children with the latest education so they can pursue professions. As a thank you, we will give you a name badge and comment stamps. Now, let's begin the story. First, let's discuss a topic that often arises in conversations among fans. Is Lay name a new type or a Cyber-Newtype? New types are extremely important in the universal century world. They are often considered an evolved form of humanity. Cyber-Newtypes are a group of people who are pseudo-recreants of new types through technology. They are depicted as beings created through ugly and terrifying technologies, such as mental and physical alterations through human modification or drugs, and personality changes through hypnosis or suggestion. Some scenes even depict muscles and organs being replaced with artificial parts, or the brain itself being surgically modified. In Volume 1 of the novel, Hathaway and Amy Rauder discuss Lane. Amy Rauder is the pilot in charge of the mission to recover the capsule containing the Gundam in the first movie. She asks the pilots of the Federation's new mobile suit Cyber-Newtypes. Hathaway replies, "I couldn't tell that much." This is the only scene in the story that touches on whether or not Lane is a new type or a Cyber-Newtype. In New Type magazine, where the novel was serialized, there is a description stating that Lane is a Cyber-Newtype. Therefore, when Lane appears in games and is depicted as a Cyber-Newtype, it is likely that this magazine description is being referenced. So, what does the latest setting say? On this point, an unexpected detail is written in the official setting materials, Mechanic and World. Yoshinori Sayama, the man in charge of designing the cockpit console, said this. It is not stated in the movie, but the Earth's Federation government currently defines new types as non-existent. This is a new, third answer. In other words, Lay name is neither a new type nor a Cyber-Newtype, but an ordinary human. However, we need to be careful here. This answer follows the Earth's Federation government's definition that new types do not exist. According to the Earth's Federation Force's official setting, Lane is an ordinary human. It's complicated logic. One possible interpretation is that Lane has awakened new type abilities. However, because the Earth's Federation Forces deny the existence of the new type race, he is treated as an ordinary human in military records. This is the latest setting at the moment. After the second movie is released, it is possible that a new setting will be added. I would love to hear your opinion, too, if you like. From here, I would like to share my personal interpretation. I interpret Lay name as a new type, not a Cyber-Newtype. Of course, remember that this opinion is purely my own. First, Lane is a person with a very stable personality. Cyber-Newtypes often have their personalities destroyed through human modification and inhumane treatment. This has been repeatedly depicted in past Universal Century series, such as Zeta Gundam. About 10 years before the events of Hathaway's Flash, a Cyber-Newtype with a stable personality did exist. However, the Neo Zeon forces created these Cyber-Newtypes. This was an accomplishment only possible for Neo Zeon, who had researched new types for much longer than the Earth's Federation forces. However, this achievement has not yet reached the point where it can be obtained in a stable and reliable way. Neo Zeon still produces Cyber-Newtypes with personality issues. So what about the Earth's Federation forces? After the events of Zeta Gundam, much of the Earth's Federation forces technology related to Cyber-Newtypes was lost. In Gundam narrative, the researchers of Cyber-Newtype technology are arrested as war criminals. It is highly likely that the Earth's Federation forces do not possess the technology to create a Cyber-Newtype with a stable personality, like Lane. The central government, the Earth's Federation government, recognizes that Cyber-Newtype technology is taboo. Therefore, I would guess that the likelihood of Cyber-Newtypes being assigned to the regular military is low. However, this depends on the Earth's Federation forces' sense of decency. It is quite possible that while they brand it as a criminal act on the surface, they are actually continuing Cyber-Newtype research. Given that the Earth's Federation forces are often portrayed as a corrupt organization, this state of affairs might actually feel more natural. Now let's take a different perspective on the possibility that Lane is a new type. That perspective is Kenneth's legs. He has very high expectations for Lane. Throughout the story, he often expresses his strict opinions and evaluations of Lane. However, he allows Lane to continue piloting Penelope. He believes in Lane's potential to grow. It is reasonable to interpret Kenneth's harsh attitude as a reflection of his expectations for Lane. Kenneth himself has a very noble spirit. In Volume 1 of the novel, Hathaway describes Kenneth as a man with a violent nature who also possesses self-restraint. He carries out merciless attacks against the Maki terrorists, but his stance is simply that he takes a strict attitude toward those who disturb the peace. This is completely different from high-ranking Federation officials who infringe on the rights of others to monopolize profits. Deep down, Kenneth also has parts of himself that sympathize with Maki's ideology. In the novel, there is a scene in which Kenneth says that if he were not in his current position, he might have cooperated with Maki. Furthermore, at the climax of the story, Kenneth expresses disgust towards selfish politicians. There is even a scene where he thinks maybe I should start cooperating with Maki now. How would Kenneth react if he learned about Cyber-Newtype technology? Would he gladly use it to win the battle? Or would he reject such inhumane acts and refuse to use it, at least within the scope of his own command? Personally, I think Kenneth would not use Cyber-Newtype technology. Without giving too much away, there is a scene at the climax of the story where Kenneth calls the actions of the Federation government and the Federation forces disgusting and in poor taste. I believe Kenneth has an aversion to Cyber-Newtypes. That is why I interpret Lane as a new type, not a Cyber-Newtype. Once again, this is nothing more than my own personal interpretation. I am also looking forward to new settings being revealed in future movies. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next program.